It has been a brutal year in the advertising business. Last week, advertising tracker TNS Media reported that ad spending plunged 14% in the first 6 months of the year. And this, by the way, is advertising week in New York. And who better to talk about the future of the business than the head of one of the world's largest marketing firms? Miles Nadal is the founder, chairman, and CEO of MDC Partners. And Miles, good for you to stop by our studios today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so we've heard specifically from various media executives, including Les Moonves yesterday from CBS, saying that they are seeing a rebound, starting to see a bottoming and a rebound possibly in the advertising market. What are you seeing, though?
We definitely are, but more importantly, I think there is a shift. The brand building pendulum has swung from persuasion from traditional media to influence from trusted sources, and that's why the growth of social media and interactive is growing so rapidly. There's also a bifurcation in terms of advertising agencies. Those firms that are delivering tangible, measurable return on investment are growing share. Those firms that are delivering same old institutional mediocrity are losing share. So
that would make sense. I mean, you know, in a time like this, the winners and the losers, you know, sort of get separated then.
Very much. Warren Buffett has that great expression, rising tides rise all boats and lowering tide shows who's naked. So I think our industry is indicative of that.
Well, I want to get later to social media advertising. But first, you know, Detroit, the car makers, they've been big advertisers and they've completely fallen off in the last 12 months. How did that change, or how is that changing the game in advertising?
Well, I think what's happening now is that there is a complete shift in the mentality of the executives leading the car manufacturers. First of all, there's not a car account right now that's not up for grabs. New leadership is basically saying we need to lower the effective cost of all marketing to drive car sales. So they're actually quantifying it as a per sale of car cost. So I think you're going to see the overall marketing budget slash dramatically and be much more accountable than ever before. I think that creates great opportunity for firms that think like insurgents, not like incumbents, and people that really have the ability to deliver tangible financial performance for the car companies.
But does that mean more aggressive advertising then?
I think it means a shift in advertising away from just traditional media toward things like social media, like branded entertainment, like blogs, like interactive, things that really can drive return on marketing investment.
Well, how do the Toyotas and the GMs and also the retailers and the other big advertisers, how do they figure out exactly what social media is going to work for them, and whether viral advertising works for them as well? I mean, how do they put a price on all of that?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's a holistic approach. First of all, I think the most successful marketing campaign ever done in the last 5 years was the election of Barack Obama. Through the internet, they recruited 14 million brand evangelists who raised $400 million. They deployed $300 million of that in traditional television advertising, measured the impact every day, modified the message, and as a result of that, we're able to get him elected. So I think at the end of the day, social media is an evolutionary activity. I think you need to try many things. It's not an or, it's an and. So
but
it's part of...
But it's not proven yet, right? And then also, we don't know yet about the costs either. I mean, that's all being felt out right now by the advertisers.
Actually, it's very proven that it works in terms of influencing the brand's equity and getting consumers emotionally committed to the brand. That part works. In terms of the business model about it becoming profitable and figuring out the revenue model, that has not become proven, but that's not our issue. Our issue is to enable our brands or our clients' brands to gain a greater emotional connection to its consumers, and for the consumer of those brands to become the biggest brand evangelist for the companies themselves.
And as we see more platforms for advertisers then, do the rates naturally go down?
I think you're going to see that which drives greater performance increase. Price will follow effectiveness. So greater effectiveness, greater pricing power. Lower effectiveness, lowering price. So I think, you know, the upfronts had a very difficult time for the first time in many, many years, because I think you had greater penetration, lowering penetration, but greater costs up until this year. So I think you're going to see now alternative means of using alternative media as a means of getting the message across.
All right, Miles, great to talk with you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Miles Nadal of MDC Partners.